In this video, we show you how you can rectify any fault on the GEOtank in 4 steps with the help of maintenance. Step 1. Checking the suction power. Step 2. Checking the drive unit. Step 3. Checking the discharge unit. Step 4. Completing the maintenance. If a fault has already been recognized and rectified during the execution of an individual step, no further steps need to be carried out. Before starting, we will show you the tools required. Open-end wrench 13 mm and 17 mm, T-wrench 10 mm, Phillips screwdriver, phase tester or multimeter, cordless screwdriver with 13 mm socket, insulating tape and capacitance measuring device. We will now show you how to assemble the discharge unit. Here you can see a dismantled discharge unit, which is normally installed in the GEOtank. To disassemble it into its individual components, simply loosen the nut on the gear shaft. You can then remove the drive unit with the ABS control unit. The drive unit consists of the ABS control unit, gearbox, motor, starting capacitor and mounting plate. You can now pull the auger lance out of the discharge unit. The auger lance consists of a dosing auger and the gear shaft with feather key. Step 1. Check the suction power. An important basic requirement for the safe operation of the pellet conveyor is a high suction capacity. To test this, first disconnect the return air hose and the suction feed hose from the discharge. Now switch on only the suction fan without the discharge screw. To remove any blockage, attach the suction feed hose alternately to both hose connections of the discharge unit. If a small amount of pellets are sucked out during this process, this is an indication that the vacuum conveyor requires maintenance. To additionally test the suction capacity, suck a small amount of pellets directly to the pellet boiler using the suction feed hose. The pellets must be sucked out quickly and without any problems. If this is not the case, please contact the service technician responsible for your pellet boiler. Step 2. Checking the drive unit. As the capacitor is a wearing part, it should be checked first. To do this, open the motor cover and unscrew the capacitor. An exact measurement of the electrical capacitance is only possible with the capacitor removed. The target value is indicated on the label on the capacitor. If the measuring device shows a deviation of less than 5% of the specified value, the capacitor is okay and can be reinstalled. The capacitor should be checked at least every 2 years. Dismantling the drive unit. Here we show you how to test the functionality of the GEOtank's drive unit. To do this, first unscrew the nut on the gear shaft. Then remove the 2 screws that secure the drive unit to the discharge unit. You can now carefully remove the drive unit. Then secure the feather key to the gear shaft using adhesive tape. Please note that the protective plate under the feather key is only included with the newer models. As soon as the drive unit, consisting of gearbox, motor with capacitor, and ABS control unit, has been dismantled, test it in idle mode. To do this, start the pellet request or the room discharge auger on the pellet boiler. The drive unit is functional when the geared motor is running and the gearbox is turning clockwise. Replace drive unit. If the geared motor does not run correctly or a fault message such as overcurrent room discharge is displayed, the boiler settings must be checked and adjusted if necessary. If this does not lead to the desired result, the drive unit must be replaced. Step 3. Checking the discharge unit. In this step, the proper functioning of the discharge unit is checked. To do this, take hold of the gear shaft and pull the auger upwards out of the tank. Now open the 4 screws on the mounting plate and carefully pull the discharge unit upwards. Due to the weight of the discharge unit, we recommend that it is lifted by 2 people using a rope and a bar. Now place the prepared squared timbers under the discharge. Then remove the adhesive tape from the feather key and turn the gear shaft so that it matches the groove position of the gearbox. The worm gear lance and gear unit can now be put back together and screwed tight with the gear shaft nut. To screw the gear unit to the discharge unit, you will need 2 additional M8 nuts. Use 2 screws and the additional M8 nuts to screw the gear unit to the discharge unit. Now connect the 2 spiral hoses of the pellet conveyor to the discharge unit. Start the pellet request on the control unit of the pellet boiler. If the pellet conveyor is now working properly, we recommend leaving the discharge unit in the higher position for the time being until the pellet tank has been emptied. Step 4. Completing maintenance. Before returning the discharge unit to its original position, the pellet tank should be completely emptied and cleaned. To position the discharge unit, loosen the 2 connecting screws between the drive unit and the discharge unit. Now remove the squared timbers from under the discharge and screw the discharge back onto the pellet tank. After installing the discharge unit, check that the dosing screw in the base area of the tank can run unhindered. Now fill the pellet tank manually with approximate 5 bags of pellets. After filling with bagged pellets, start the pellet conveyor on the pellet boiler and check the function of the system. You can view spare parts in our spare parts list for the GEOtank and then order them via our website. You will find the link in the video description. If you have any further questions, please call us on +43 2622 65 242 or send us an email to condendienst@geoplast.com.